We're here with Francesca Harper on the eve of Dance Theatre of Harlem's new season at City
That's
Center.
right, yeah.
And the season starts on the 19th and runs through the 22nd. It's a Wednesday, Friday, Saturday,
That's right.
4 performances. And on Friday night, there will be the New York premiere of Francesca Harper's System. Group work for 8 dancers, which is guaranteed to be wonderful energy. You'll all have to come out and see it. Francesca, I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, you said, I think people don't always see all the facets of somebody, It's like you have a diamond and you don't really see how beautiful it is until the light hits it. Because right now you're standing in the light.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a gift to be back here, and I was just thinking back to our history.
Yes.
I remember when I was, I worked with you after I danced with Dance Theatre of Harlem, so it's almost full circle being back
I pulled out.
with you today, yeah.
Thank you. I pulled out that sugar rum cherry.
Oh, it was so much fun, the Duke Ellington.
Yes, you did such a fabulous job.
Thank you, thank you.
It was
Yeah, well, good
the best.
choreography makes a dancer look good.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
But I'm so proud of you because you're a singer, you're an actress, you're a choreographer, you're a dancer, you're a mom, you're a wife.
I have to pay the rent. And I have these artistic skills, so.
And right now you have a show that you're in. We might as well
That's
plug
right.
that too.
Yes, I'm in Sleep No More, which is
Yeah.
nice. Yeah, I'm there, which is on 27th Street at the McKittrick Hotel.
Yeah, I mean, so you're just doing all these wonderful things. Just test it, and then it reflects in your work because all of these aspects of you as a performer affects what you do, and I see the theatricality and the strong sense of theater, but also the wonderful sense of form and order. You understand structure.
Oh, thank you very much. Well, I've been working a lot with that, Walter. I've been working a lot on, I've been studying acting more. The last maybe 4 or 5 years, I've been also studying acting, and it's really kind of boosted my choreography. I think understanding human intention and intentionality and a body standing in space with intention or with a thought, a really clear, strong thought is power.
When you say that, I always come in my mouth, but not to cut you off. But that's when I go to see work, the first thing I review is intent.
That's right. I think that's been kind of revolutionary for me, or transformative, I should say, to really, understand the human story behind all movement and be dedicated to making sure that there's a sense of that, in each piece. And it's been really wonderful. It's just deepened my whole experience with choreography.
Now, what I want to talk about, since we're almost in that thing, is your process. Because I remember seeing some of your rehearsals early on for another work, and it's amazing how much you pull from the dancers. And almost in an improvisational sense, you start with an idea that gets them working.
Yeah.
And then from there they move for you, and then you kind of keep kneading the clay until you get what you want.
That's right. Well, it's both, because I do feel, having done a lot of improvisation with William Forsythe, that it opened up my creativity immensely. So I think that for me is something that I also feel is special about his work, and something I can carry on, to other people. The fact that we had a real kind of freedom, a lot of freedom in the process and in the work. So I think that, with Dance Theatre of Harlem, I'll tell you, it was funny. I really came in, actually, I had like a workshop before we started working with my dancers from the Francesca Harper project. Anyway.
Yes, let's get it.
I'm sorry.
Let's get that out there. Let's do that.
Shameless plug. Anyway,
Yes.
no, but seriously, I did a workshop before we even got in the studio with DTH, because I know that I've worked with them before. I think I worked with them last year. We did, a piece at the Met. I was invited, and I asked Dance Theatre of Harlem to join us. So I wanted to go in with some choreography because they work so much with form.
Right.
And they also have, being ballet dancers, I had forgotten, they also are real actors. They really evoke emotion and poetry as ballet dancers and understand what that is in space. Also the subtleties and vulnerability that's kind of automatically infused into ballet, the soft approach, which, it kind of wakes up a soft side of you as a dancer. So that also too, I thought, oh, so I started with some choreography initially, and then I kind of I snuck in my improvisation, and they would kind of move the way they wanted to, and then I would also say, well, okay, well, try this. But actually, with this particular piece, Walter, both times we sat down to create, something happened in the media. It was Eric Garner the first time, and then the Ferguson rulings, and then Sandra Bland. So it was, all of those happened every time we would meet in the studio. And I had this intention, you know, the John Adams music is very abstract, and it's very, you know, it reminds me of like Stravinsky, right, that way, you know, that there's this just really, and we sat down as a group, and I had started with a very abstract approach to the piece, and we sat down and said, we really have to say something now. We really have to speak on our experiences as African American people in America. And we sat down and we read slave narratives, and then we took the choreographic vocabulary kind of that I had set. I really started with the music. I mean, I really wanted to be specific and honor John Adams' music. So I started with choreography that was very musical and shared my stories and influences in the music. But then we really layered a lot of our history into the work. So we had these slave narratives and how the dancers responded to them. And that was kind of some source material we could pull from. And then we brought, I noticed, I went through the piece and I said, oh my gosh, this part looks, and I saw them following this path, and I was like, oh my gosh, the Great Migration. So we started taking, okay, well, even my family's story of having to leave the South because they were under threat, you know, and it was racially motivated, you know. So we started with, and we just took these narratives. Okay, we're on the path, the Great Migration, to get out of whatever danger is ensuing in our hometown, and you are this person, and you two are brother and sister, you two. So we really actually made a very strong narrative from moment to moment. And abstract, I like to call it abstract storytelling.
Well, yeah.
You know, right?
That's excellent.
Abstract storytelling. So it was almost as if we had this vocabulary, and then we layered in our experiences and stories as African Americans, and it became really very poignant for all of us and powerful. You know, and it's really great to have that kind of contemporary 21st century twist to something, our legacy as African Americans. What to expect with system? It's very physical too. So although it has this very strong narrative, it is very challenging. I mean, I have them sliding on point, I have them doing lifts over each other, and it's this John Adams music, the strings, the quartet number 1, it does not stop for about 16 minutes. And we kind of took that, you know, I guess that kind of relentless as the struggle that we have as African Americans. You know, you have to be and keep working and keep, you know, we kind of match that intensity with the way that we have to have a work ethic as African Americans, you know. So it's really like, you know, they just are going, and it's very exciting and kind of riveting, I would say, so to speak.
You've heard it from the choreographer.
I guess so.
It's riveting.
I guess, well, I mean, maybe in its physicality, you know, I'd say. I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion, you know, but I find that I'm very proud that they really inhabited a very kind of exciting, and made it a very exciting vocabulary.
When it comes from you, from the choreographer, and I see on your face that you're pleased, you're happy.
Yeah, I am very happy. I think also, you know, this time, honestly, we had this support. You know, we got this NEFA grant from the New England Foundation for the Arts. So it was really a great process. It was one of the first times I've really had time to be in process. So I got to know the dancers, we got to really kind of deepen our relationship so they felt safer. So I feel I've also, like today, even in our last rehearsal before City Center, I worked on details. just look to the right, and just bring the arm down here, and this is leading forward into the unknown or into the ascension, you know, and the spiritual ascension. And, you know, I'm able to, because of our process, really start to add little punctuation and like this last little flourishes that a painter would or so and so forth, you know. So that's really been great to have the support
And the
to create, and the time to
You
create
know, one of
this
the things,
piece.
that's one of the things I find that I don't, it makes me feel bad. I'm writing another article about how long it takes really for ballets to gel. When I was doing some research on Balanchine's ballets in the late 40s, nobody liked them. They got the worst reviews for about 2 years.
Right.
And if that had happened in this present climate, that means that Four Temperaments would have been one season ballet.
Wow.
When you think about it, it would have gone on stage.
Right.
They would have knocked it and said, well, we'll put it over here. But he was a student enough to say, well, this is something new.
Right, and they could keep exploring that, his black and white ballets, right?
Yes.
And they're amazing, yeah. That was part of my inspiration for some of this. I watched Stravinsky Violin Concerto and, you know, Fortis and Ballet della Regina. You know, I'm a big Balanchine fan, just with his wonderful dialogue between and abstraction, you know,
Right.
able to take just the musicality and bring emotion that the peoples and that the artists are bringing or interpreting in the moment. And that's really what he highlights, and that's what I think is, I've always loved the amount that he's asked of his dancers to contribute through his work, you know.
And one of the things I love about him, but also about what you do, is that you do challenge them.
Yes.
You take them a place past their comfort zone.
Oh yeah.
But then you do it in such a way that it's never uncomfortable. I'll put it like
Right.
that. It's challenging.
Right.
It may take them someplace, but it's always within the realm of their possibilities.
Well, I think also, you know, when we are faced, I talk about this with my students a lot, when faced with a challenge, we have two options. We can be brave and pass through it, or we can retreat and avoid it. So basically, you know, I think when I start to challenge the dancers, I say, okay, here's an opportunity to be brave. You know, would you like to go there? You know, or I create I almost present that opportunity as, you know, I buffer it. You know, that's where you're right. I know, I can see that I'm about to ask them to take a risk in a very big way. So I kind of present the option with a very nurturing quality.
But that's what a choreographer does, and then you still get what you want.
That's right, I know. You're going to tell everybody on this camera our secrets? No, right.
Yes, but
Yeah, that's right. Well, because it's all human living. I mean, and honestly, the reality of our lifetime experiences is that we have these struggles in life. And what do you do when you're faced with the struggle or pain? You know, it's how do we, you know, we hopefully create stories that we can inspire people to transcend and rise above, or, you know, or persevere. So that's also like when we start to choreograph and talk about those things. I mean, those are things that are on my mind, and especially when we talk about race in America, you know, I mean, talk about challenging. I mean, that's been the biggest thing, but what do we learn? I mean, you see how we flourished as a culture because it's been harder, and it doesn't necessarily mean having a harder time. The benefits of what you acquire by being strong and brave through a challenge is quite remarkable what you can achieve. Yeah,
and you're always so generous with your time.
Oh, well, thank you. I love talking with you. You're like my dance family.
Yes. And we haven't had this conversation. The last time we spoke, you were doing something at Ailing.
That's right, okay.
A couple of years back.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun.
Wow.
That's how long it's been. Time flies.
Amazing, yeah.
And so on that note,
Right.
Listen, I
Really
want to thank you.
Oh, of
For
course.
putting up, just sharing.
It's my honor. Oh, please, I really, thank you, yeah.
So everybody, May 20th, please come out and see System and the rest of the Dance Theatre of Harlem repertoire. It's going to be 19th, 20th, and 21st. Now, my partner says I should give you a hug.
Oh, we have to.
Yes.
I'm glad you suggested it.
Yes, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Much, much love.